If I ask many women in India today that how are they being treated after marriage, what are their feelings in the marriage, and what are they remembered for, they will answer that they feel as if they are the cook of that particular family after marriage, and at the same time they are just taking care of household things, and most of the time they are the only thing that is expected out of them is cooking food for the family, providing a physical relationship with the husband, and having children so that the vansh ka diya aage badhe. So this is what is the purpose, and this is what is the significance of that woman in the family in the Indian society today, also in the year 2025. What is expected from the woman is cooking, providing physical affection, and bringing the children in the world. So basically, apart from this, nothing is expected out of them much. And even if they are doing great in other areas of their life, actually the family, they may not get much of appreciation either from their husband, from their in-laws, or other people around, because they don't expect them to do anything else. And whatever they do extra, that is something which is their own wish and their own motive. The same thing if done by the boy, it will be a great thing. That happens in many of the cases. Confident, independent, dream filled girl is turned into a submissive, dependent, and worthless personality. And in fact, it is more like a slave like personality after marriage in most of the cases. Story of the recent movie Mrs., in which Richa is the girl who gets married with a lot of dreams and a lot of things in her mind, and later on, how she faces a traumatic situation and emotional abuse is wonderfully presented. The story of Richa in the movie Mrs. is not just of feminism, but is more about how actually a psychological influence is created by other people around without even speaking directly certain things. It's a piece by piece control that is gained over that particular person by other members of the family. Indian society, to a large extent, still keeps saying to girls right from their childhood that शादी तो करनी पड़ेगी बेटा, फिर शादी के बिना तुम्हारी जिंदगी अधूरी है, तुम्हें तो जीवन साथी चाहिए, तुम्हारा असली घर तो तुम्हारा ससुराल ही है. प्लस दे विल ऑल्सो हियर शादी के बाद तुम एक अच्छी बीवी बनो, अपने हस्बैंड की सारी बातें सुनो. दिस इज क्लासिक एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ साइकोलॉजिकली ब्रेन वॉशिंग द चाइल्ड्स माइंड right from the beginning. So not just the girls, even the boys' minds are brainwashed in a different way. And the boys' minds are brainwashed in a very negative manner, such that in the marriage, he creates problems for himself. Like in his childhood days, right from the beginning, he will be told certain things like, "Arey ladki ho kya, ro kyun rahe ho?" That means if you cry, you are weak person. कमाई तो तुम्हें करनी पड़ेगी, घर तो तुम्हें ही चलाना पड़ेगा. When they are growing up a little, and there are certain emotions which are being developed, they will be also brainwashed in a way saying, लड़की की क्या सेवा कर रहे हो, बीवी की क्या सेवा कर रहे हो, जोरू का गुलाम हो क्या, अपनी बीवी को काबू में रखना सीखो, मर्द बनो. ऐसे कैसे वो तुम्हारी बात नहीं मानेंगी. All these, what happens to the man's or the boy's emotions is basically they are going to have a negative influence. He is going to definitely feel, first of all, suppression of his real emotions, and at the same time, if he has to express certain emotions towards his wife or his girlfriend or whoever she is, he will not express it freely. So he will also think that, okay, I should not pamper, or I should not actually do something good for my wife, because I want to be the hero and the real man in the eyes of the society. So if I'm going to do something good for my wife, I'm going to be a timid, Joru ka gulam type of a person. So I don't want to be that, right? I want to be the real man. And the real man portrayal is so negative that it creates big problems in the marriage because of these wrong emotions being fed both in the minds of the girl and the boy. In the movie Richa is being trapped in kind of an emotional abuse where she is made to fit into the patriarchal type of nature of that household, where the girls, the where basically the wife is a person who is all the time in the kitchen. So even today, at the time of marriage, a girl will be told that now you should stop doing your work, or maybe you should try and manage your work to a minimum extent. You have to be more in the house now. You have to take care of that, or you have to stop doing what you're doing. You should you should actually sacrifice your dreams. You don't need to take care of that now. Your most important duty is taking care of your house and your husband. Are these same things taught and told to the boy? This is very important. Richa in that movie gets trapped into that routine, regular, monotonous type of daily work, and in a way loses her charm. So she is basically so happy going, independent. If you see that scene where she dances on the tune of the song, she has her own dance troupe also, but she suppresses all her dreams, sacrifices them. And basically, even when she talks to her mother on the phone, what happens? At that point, also, her mother says, no, अरे adjust तो करना पड़ेगा बेटा. So basically, her mother also does not support her and doesn't say anything bad about the situation. She doesn't feel that anything is going wrong. And basically, her daughter only is the one who should adjust. It creates a passive turmoil in her life because she is not having support from her parents. She's not having support in the home she is now in her in law's place. She feels that, okay, if I raise my voice, I will spoil this whole marriage. I need to adjust. Maybe one fine day they will feel that I am a good person. So she tries hard, she works hard, and stays very polite, submissive, silent in the whole movie, and does whatever is being told till she reaches a point of a burnout. See, marriage is a very important thing in the life of both the boy and the girl, but at the same time, when it comes to sacrifice, the demand still is more from the child, from the part of the girl and not the boy. And if the girl is not ready to sacrifice, what happens to the marriage? It breaks. So the boys still in the society, even today, are not taught that you have to be more emotionally vulnerable. You have to have more emotions expressed. You have to speak. You have to communicate in verbal, non-verbal ways to your wife, to the person you are with, so that the relation builds. If they don't talk, they don't communicate. If they're not expressing their feelings in any way, but just taking her for granted, she will also start to dim. In this movie Mrs., at the end, it's a very nice thing that they've shown that she reaches a point where it is done for her. She doesn't care about anybody around her, but she starts to rebel. So there are very few women in this society even today who can have the guts, who have the strength to go against the norms and rebel and pursue their dreams, go forth to what they really want in their life and stop being caged. So this is what is the learning from the movie Mrs. for women, that if you feel suppressed, if you feel compressed, if you have to fit into a box which is very small to your aura and to your nature, then you definitely have to think of breaking that cage and running away, flying away, and pursuing what you exactly want in life. As it is said, we live only once, so we don't need to be caged all the time and try to fit into the parameters the society has actually told us, because ultimately it's we who are with us, no one else. At the same time, for the boys, or at the same time, this movie is a very important message for the men who get married and start taking their wife for granted. So small expressions in the entire day, romantic gestures, are very important to keep the relationship alive. So there was one scene where on the first few days or 1 or 2 days of marriage, she makes chai for him, tea for him, and pours the tea in one cup, whereas he takes another cup for her and they share the tea and drink. Next day, also, or few days later, also, she does the same thing, that when she pours the chai, she herself takes out the cup, thinking that now he will now share his tea with her in a very romantic gesture. This is what she's thinking, but he doesn't do it. So normally this is what happens in most of the cases, where a few days of expression, you get what you want. Once that goal for the man is achieved, and then it is done. So after that, he starts taking her for granted. He every day takes her for granted, and after a few days, the bubble will burst, or she will stop having any kind of emotions for the man. So simple expressions, small expressions, not necessarily in words if you can't do it, but in actions, definitely are needed for keeping that relationship alive. And if you're unable to do that, then the expectations from the woman also should not be there. This movie also, Mrs. also sends a message to the adults who are around these children who are getting married, that these adults should be more supportive to both, not just to the son, or not just trying to fit in their daughter-in-law into their caged mentality, but even the mother-in-law in that movie is not supportive. Even her own mother is not supportive in a way, and because of that, she compresses and suppresses all her emotions, and later on, it creates an outburst. In a way, women are the enemies of women. This is what can be actually quoted from the movie, because the women themselves are trying to make that woman into another person just like them, who has suffered a lot in their life. So if they have suffered, they should try and step up and say, okay, now stop. You are not going to face the same sufferings as I have. So this requires a very big heart, and this This requires strength on the part of that person to step up and say, okay, I'm going to stop this and create a barrier for this wrong thing being passed in the next generation. Also, the mothers should be very careful in bringing up their boys, because they have to teach the boys respecting and caring for their women. If they can't do it out of their own free will and heart, the relationship sinks and suffers. So, this is what we just had to share on this channel of Mind Wellness Every Day. What I felt after watching this particular movie, it's really interesting from a psychological viewpoint, and how our society brings up things for the girls and the boys, and because of which tensions in the marriage are created in different cases. We all learn something from this movie, and it gives us a better perspective of our society, and we try to change it in our own small ways. Thank you for watching this video, and do share it with people who may like it, and subscribe to Mind Wellness Every Day if you have not yet joined this journey of wellness and happiness in your life. Thank you.